Good day, my name is Chris, and you are basically talking to the master of Agrarian Unified Healing. I'm actually in charge of this company, and I'm here to teach you the basics of grounding. Now, actually, to be able to do a bit of an introduction, I've been doing energy work for over 30 years. I recently actually got my Reiki certification, so I'm actually a Karuna Master. So I'm able to heal, actually do distance. Even with all of that experience, it boils down to the basics. Now there's 4 videos which will help you with the basics, to be able to learn the basics and to be able to learn what's absolutely actually necessary to be able to do energy work properly. To be able to do a quick introduction as to where we are, we're actually in the Dundurn Castle Park area. The Dundurn Castle has been around, I think, actually since the 1700s. It's one of the most beautiful areas. Actually, it's actually in Hamilton. It's one of the most spiritually centered, and also actually one of the calmest, in the area. And where I'm actually in right now, I'm actually in a grove of trees. Now, how it's so appropriate is that for grounding, because in grounding, you must learn one thing. You must do it every day. You hear me? Every day. Sorry. This is the absolute baseline. Now, grounding, just like a tree, you've got roots, you've got branches, you've got the trunk. Starting grounding is that you've basically have to stand, sit, wherever, but you've got to have your feet in the ground. Now, if that isn't possible, because of the fact that you're actually bedridden, or else basically it's anything else, think of yourself as if you actually have roots coming from your feet down to the ground. Same thing actually goes with anybody who's standing, sitting, doesn't matter. Same techniques works every single time. So what I'm actually doing, my feet are on the ground, and they are spread eagle mostly. So I'm actually quite comfortable, and I'm quite easy at this point to be able to get my head actually together. So now, with that in mind, stretch your roots down. Stretch your roots down actually into the ground, and that way that you've actually got more and more roots. Now stretch as deep as you can without feeling as if you're overstraining yourself. One of the biggest problems that we run into during doing energy work is burnout. And this is one thing that we definitely actually want to avoid. So, and actually it's in continuance. We'll actually offer little tidbits all the way through all of the training. So, put your feet down on the ground, or basically it's as I mentioned before, if you're actually bedridden, or if you can't actually get into that kind of position, just think as if your feet are basically the roots, or basically the trunk. So as you basically see actually in the background, the trunk. So think of it, it's the trunk now actually reach your roots down into the ground. Okay, now feel as if you're actually solidly planted into the ground. Next thing is that you're actually going to pull it's a YMCA, kind of. You're going to put your arms up, or if you can't do it, just imagine that your arms actually are going up. Now, you're basically kind of thinking to yourself, okay, so I'm a tree, so it's what's next. Next thing is breathing. You basically breathe in. You breathe in positive energy. You release negative energy. So it's a constant flow. In, out. In, out. In, out. Just like this. Breathe in. Breathing in all of the positive energy, and breathing out. Actually, it's breathing out all of it's a negative energy. Once again, breathe in all of the positive energy. Once again, breathe out the negative energy. Now, the reasoning for this and why it's so important is because in this day and age, we run into so much stress. We run into mental or physical, whatever. The reality is that most of us don't actually know how to be able to get rid of actually it's like that stress. And it can hit basically absolutely anybody at absolutely totally any time. I mean, it's anybody who is a student actually it's like of psychology actually will tell you stress is a constant in our life. It's just how we actually deal with it that's important. Grounding helps to be able to calm yourself down. It is also the precursor actually it's like the meditation. So if you want to actually do actually it's like strong it's actually it's a more effective meditation. Ground. Always ground yourself first. Now, speaking actually to those who actually have gone towards like Reiki masters or basically it's like what have you, if you find that you actually have a Reiki master that doesn't ground, get away. The problem is that energy can actually do like a feedback actually into your own system and can actually cause harm because it's like they are not letting the energy just basically pass through them. They're actually it's like holding in, which actually can backfire, and that can be quite nasty. So once again, after actually it's during actually all of those tidbits, breathe in, energy coming in, positive energy coming in, massively positive actually it's like coming in. I love trees. Go out, let the negative energy actually go. Now, the question, of course, is it's like, can this be done actually inside of a city? Yes. Here's the problem though, is that if you're not actually on the ground, it may actually take you a bit longer to be able to reach the ground. Way around that is that like if you're actually inside of a building, think as if you're actually it's like connecting to the grounding wire. And then actually the basically is actually it's like focus your thing as if you're actually it's like a tree, or basically it's like actually a grounding element. That's basically actually it's like now actually it's like attached to that, and then from there you can actually ground. I have grounded from as high as actually as 20 floors up. It's quite possible to be able to do. Now that's just like another trick actually which you can actually use. But normally, best way, once you actually start beginning, get into a park. Get into a beautiful park, or actually it's like anything actually that's nearby that has trees and it's actually called a grove. That's your best bet. That's your best starting point. If you're in like the mountains or basically into whatever, you're still actually in good shape because you're still actually touching the earth. As long as you're actually still actually touching the earth in some way, shape, or form, you're in fantastic shape. And I've got leaves actually falling actually all around me. It's so much fall here. So, to recap, once again, and I will constantly do this because it's like I constantly remind my students of this. Ground. Feel as if you're actually a tree. Okay, you're tall tree. Roots going down, stretch as far as you can without totally pushing it. Put your arms up as if you're actually in like a YMCA video. Eventually, you won't have to do that. I'll explain in a minute. And then from there, breathe in, hold it, just for a couple of seconds. You're basically letting the energy to kind of just percolate, actually, just like good coffee. And then from there, just release it down. And then hold it actually for like a few seconds, and then do it again. That will immensely help you. Now, it's like what I mentioned earlier about it actually, it's like not taking as long. To be honest with you, it takes me maybe about 20 to 30 seconds to be able to ground every single morning, and I'm usually pretty good. It's like initially it will take time, but once again, this boils down to practice and constantly staying actually on it. Once it becomes actually it's like so natural, you'll find that things actually are easier actually through the course of the day, because it meant that you actually run into like a situation, you instantly ground and you feel better automatically, and that can massively help you. Okay, grounding, if you're cool with it, move on to number two, which actually is shielding. Well, actually, I'll be recording a video actually from like a different location. So definitely I look forward to that. There's 4 parts actually. It's like to this training, and this is just the basics. This isn't even actually any of the advanced stuff. This is just the basics. So 1 is this one, 2 is shielding, 3 is awareness, and 4 is integration. So, and I will be doing 3 of them today. I'll actually do like the last one probably next week. So, once again, a recap. Roots, branches. Breathe in, positive, breathe out, negative. Do that at least once a day, at least once in the morning when you wake up, once at night. You'll find the benefits far outweigh actually just the time actually that you're using, because it immensely helps. So if you have any questions, like definitely actually is forward me off a message regarding Unified Healing on Facebook. And then from there, it's like we can talk. Thanks for watching. Bye.